Hit it. All right. We're back for the third edition of the Sentinel Comics Gauntlet Games Hangout. Uh, I am Michael Matthews, pronouns he, him. I am GMing today. If we want, we can go once again in the order of character cards across the top.
I think that means I'm first. I'm Brian, he, him, and I am playing Wraith.
I'm Terry, he, they. I am playing Bunker.
I am Brandon, he, him, playing Tachyon.
Hey, I'm Jake, he, him, playing Absolute Zero.
All right, and we are at this point kind of swerving off of the starter kit we kind of began with, because the starter kit is very much battle, scene that leads to next battle, battle, end of issue, battle, scene that leads to next battle. Like, which I kind of forgotten modules sometimes do. It's like, oh yeah, this sometimes goes. But get a little bit of time to get into the characters a little bit. Do you want to do a recap of what happened last session?
Yes, we were given, the group was given clues. I believe the session started out with that fight with the demonic creatures, the seeming hellhounds around the house of that used to be the Dreamer's house in the suburbs. And I may be jumping back a little farther. And from which it was determined by the visionary that that the problem originated in a chaotic dimension, whose name I forget what she called it.
The void for her.
The void, and that these emanations that were causing problems in Megalopolis and indeed in a great many places over the world were originating there, and they would continue until the whatever was generating them in the void dimension was dealt with. She had enough strength to hold open the portal to that dimension for us to go there and hopefully come back, but couldn't offer any other assistance after having worked so hard to hold off the hellhounds before we were basically in a single-handed fight against them until we were able to show up. So we plunged into the void dimension, and there met a very strange place that seemed to be sort of tiny micro places, each with its own rules, direction of gravity, and landscape, not obviously connected by anything, each of them tumbling through a very sort of diaphanous, poorly defined space. And we hadn't been there long when we started to encounter some dark versions of ourselves, which were, in one sense, they were very real, but in another sense, they were entirely illusions made up of by the void dimension. But whatever they were important distractions, and we figured out that we had to get past that and to find out what the source of all these things were, which we managed to do via some technological triangulation and racing around to find commonalities between them and a number of other things. We found the Void Heart, which was an enormous crystal that seemed to whose energy seemed to be creating all of these things. It was protected by a pair of orbs, one apparently gold and one silver. And they were manifesting further dark versions of ourselves and our friends that were attacking us. And we were able, when things didn't look so great, we were finally able to crack the void heart and shatter it into tiny crystals. And in the process, the backwash of the process threw us out of the void dimension. And Visionary reported that we seemed to have stopped the threat, at least for the time being.
Pops back in.
Most of us were not in great shape.
Yeah. It was a bunker at absolute zero. Like, I wasn't that bad off.
I think I actually got down pretty low, and my character was just like, finally.
No, yeah, absolute zero. We can tell when absolute zero is going down. I mean, after all, because his character displays it.
Yeah, it
Bunker-
gets a little bit quieter.
Bunker said, "I've seen worse," which got a tired laugh out of everybody.
Fix the paint job again.
Yeah.
Well, but you fight in a tank.
Yep.
You fight in a 10-foot tall humanoid tank. So if you're out of the fight, likelihood is everybody else is already out of the fight for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're about to get to, I think, the next round, if things didn't go as well as they did.
But Tachyon went hyperspeed for the first time in quite a while, since she hurt herself fighting Progeny. And knowing she was taking a risk, but figuring she didn't really have a choice at that point, that it was either do that in order to try to find the void heart, or die in this weird dimension that didn't seem to have any of the proper physics.
Yep.
And she is barely standing when she comes back out. But she isn't standing for long, even after milkshakes.
Had we just stopped pretty much like right as the battle ended?
I think we went out for milkshakes.
Yeah,
Oh yes, that's right.
and I think it's Slurpee.
Still in costume.
Zero's like, give me brain freeze.
I need
Do
this.
it.
You can't. Yeah, milkshakes don't do anything for you.
They're pretty. I like looking.
If it wasn't for your suit, you wouldn't be able to drink them at all.
If it wasn't for my suit.
They just instantly, ultra freeze into ice 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but whatever that intermediate form is, still tastes delicious.
You need a jackhammer to eat it.
What Bunker's for it?
Yeah, I'm here still.
I want can you give me a half an hour in the scanner sometime this week? We've put together a new gravitic wave scanner using Thorathian technology. and I want to see what it makes of your skin temperature.
Sure, been experimented on before. Go for it. I'm used to it. But
Well, I mean, we still haven't figured out how exactly your powers really work. I mean, yes, the superficial explanation we give is that, right, as you condense water vapor out of the air, when it touches the extreme coldness of your skin, blah, blah, blah. But frankly, you pull more water vapor out of the air than there is water vapor. And you can do it even in a room that's been pretty much entirely, where the air has been hyperheated and then recooled, so there isn't any water vapor in it. And you can still do that trick.
yeah, I think it's a little trick, but yes.
Well, it's much, trick. Everything's
Yeah.
trick, right?
I mean, I was demonstrating for a kid's birthday party a little while.
I mean,
so
that's why, we fought in the desert and you could still create ice. It's like, okay, where's the ice coming from?
Yeah, that's what made me really popular.
The answer is we're investigating that. I think the reporters are tired of hearing that answer. So anyway, this gravity wave scanner is something else. It's to conventional MRI scanner what a conventional MRI scanner is to somebody with a really strong magnifying glass. I think the Thorathians used them to analyze quantum black holes. I have absolutely forbidden any of my students to entertain any ideas of having quantum black holes in the laboratory, because I know that if I didn't, sooner or later, one of them would figure out a way to have one. And I'm not just talking about Unity.
I know. I heard you the last time.
No, you can't. You just can't have quantum black holes in the lab. They're inherently unstable. Even if you have the superstructure around them to deal with the incredible tidal effects that they have, it's just not a great idea.
So we'll have this conversation at while you're getting plushies. Yeah, I don't know if for Wraith and Bunker, if you managed to look at all at a little bit of their backgrounds.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to this week. It was just too much trying to get a fundraiser going for November 7th. So I've been arranging all that. It's for Autism Home Base. It's a charity that I am the vice president of the board of, and doing a Dungeons and Dragons fundraiser. So,
Nice.
We'll just assume you guys were on a long date.
Well, yeah, I'll say that one of the things when I was kind of looking through, Wraith and Bunker, Captain Tyler Vance, and Maya Adriana Montgomery are dating at this point. After the events of Oblivion, are you with the two of them while they're talking over all this at the Slurpee shop, milkshake shop?
Yeah, I'm out of my suit at the moment.
Yeah.
And
doing this in costume runs the risk of paparazzi, but whatever.
Well, absolute zero.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like
they can ban photographers from Freedom University pretty well, but not there's only so much they can do to keep them out of the slushy shop.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to remember not to call people by their first names.
This is why I don't go to Starbucks.
This is why you don't go to Starbucks.
Absolute.
Oh, it's you. I thought it was a vodka thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Zero, the Mark III suit holding up all right? Those new polymers not as not disintegrating quite as easily as the previous ones?
Nope, I've tried. Haven't been able to disintegrate them yet. Still working on it.
Great. No. I mean, I mean, no. Try. But I mean, it's supposed to withstand normal wear and tear. But if you can rip a hole in it with your powers by trying, it means it's not good enough. But I think in the long term, it's lighter. I mean, you can probably tell that. And
Well, I thought I lost some weight, but okay. Good to know.
All right, for pacing reasons, why don't we go ahead and unless I don't know if Wraith or Bunker wanted to do anything while you're any kind of RP while you're there, or
it's always entertaining to watch Bunker drink through a straw while he's in his suit.
oh, you said it was out. I think you said it was out of suit.
When he's in
Yeah.
no, when he's in his suit, he's got this
Yeah.
little whirring plate that goes out of the
Just
way, and you hear a
goes
pump
back.
going chunka chunka chunk. I'm sorry, I get a kick out of it. I
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't. It's not like with Zero. I didn't design your suit, so I get a boot out of watching it work. Essentially,
No, I
after you
think,
figured out that satellite drop module thing, wow, that is some fucking amazing piece of engineering. You see, I can
Yep.
curse around you guys because Dana isn't here.
if we
Jeez.
kind of cut forward a bit, so I know that there were some personal projects and stuff, and you're probably also looking into the stuff with like the multi-dimensional things that you found. But for a bit, those things are kind of reaching a weird dead end because the multiverse right now is kind of thrown a little bit all over the place. What I want to do here is get to a point where there'll be a point where we can kind of do this. Where Argent, we'll get all of you kind of together in the lab before we sort of head to evenings out. Separate ones. We'll do some stuff with that. But you've got Argent Adept and Visionary come to see you in what has been rebuilt so far of the Freedom Plaza.
Yep.
Looking a little
Yeah.
worse for wear,
The
but
fountain,
better.
is the fountain working? At least I like the fountain. All right.
Argent Adept lets you know. It's like, well, we're going to go and try to see what we can find out. I mean, the multiverse got all kinds of damage. Livion did his thing. Things are still getting fixed, so we're going to see what we can do. Thank you so much for help.
feeling better?
Yeah. Still a little bit sore, but I mean that'll go away in a bit. The nice thing is several of the places we're traveling, a lot of it's astrally, then reincorporating our bodies, so that will actually make.
I can't imagine what that's like. Yeah, don't tell Dana, but I think I overdid it with the Void Heart. Even with the stabilizer is not quite enough to keep me out of trouble at hyper speed. So I'm glad that's over with.
With
I did
magic, we deal with a lot of stuff that's pretty dangerous, which
Oh yeah, I
can
forget.
often destroy us. So we know what
Oh
that's
hey,
like.
I forgot. I don't know which of you to give yous to, but I grabbed this out of what I will charitably call the air, just as we're being pulled out of the dimension, and I reach into my pocket and pull out a little crystal. It's a chunk of the Void Heart when it blew up.
Did you hand it over?
Yeah.
Yeah, Visionary kind of grabs it and she's like, "This might work as a sounding device. We might be able to use it to kind of light our way a little bit."
Yeah, I just snapped super speed, grabbed it out of the air as we were being pulled out. It wasn't. We didn't have a chance to hang around. I think everybody else can attest to that.
Collapsing pretty fast.
A little bit, but
Okay, so now what? Now do we just power nap? till some other manifestation of this, or is this part over?
Because we're gonna see what we can track down, and if we can find anything, we'll come back for your help. Without Haka, because Haka had sacrificed himself to essentially got trapped in another. But currently, we're a little underpowered. If we need some help, we'll come for you. But right now, we're just trying to search and find.
Yeah, really sorry about Haka. He was great. I miss his jokes.
I don't miss all of this. Kind of smiles.
Well, no, I mean even the dumb jokes. They were on a certain level they were funny.
Yeah, you just say that because you were.
But he enjoyed them so much. I think that's why I like them, is that he was so pleased with himself that having come up with a joke.
Absolute zeros in the background. They were okay.
Hey.
Okay, because they go ahead and kind of say their goodbyes. Then they end up like Visionary brings up a portal. They end up going through it, closes behind them, and you were essentially towards the end of your working day at this point.
All right.
Oh, I heard. Well,
boy, a teleport.
Oh, I was just saying, all right.
That evening, everyone had some plans. With Tachyon would have had a date with Dana, and then for Bunker, Wraith, and Absolute Zero, this could be some stuff together. This could be stuff on your own. What were you doing on basically the time where things were finally stable enough in the city with all the rebuilding that you could kind of take a night to relax, not be at 15 different things and trying to help a bunch of people and fielding phone calls and up stuff?
So for me, I went and visited Argent Adept. So I went saw Argent Adept, and then I said, "Hey, so remember that thing we talked about last time with how the the magic stuff that was going on with me? Well, I recently did a battle with in part of the trans-dimensional realm, and it was really, really difficult, and I was really close to dying, but we pulled through. But I noticed that I was getting really unstable. So I was wondering, can you check me out and see what's going on?"
Yeah, the Argent, yeah, he kind of takes a moment and he goes, "I can look. I mean, are your powers magical though?"
Well, I know that when we did the battle in Oblivion, something strange was changing with me. But I remember you told me that it was you figured out how to get it under control. And just after that battle going into the dimensional realm, it felt like things were changing. One thing I did notice is that temperatures in that realm, the physics was just really different about it. So I don't know if that has impacted me or not.
Those sort of void realms are a little difficult simply because they're going to have their own laws, and what you do deals with just the very nature of hot and cold. And some of those are going to be different, depending on those however those sort of realms work. Because I can take a look, but in some respects, the way your powers and such work are a little outside of wheelhouse. But let me see what I can do.
Sounds good. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
He starts sort of singing some spells and such. And after a bit, he just kind of goes, there's a multi-dimensional pull on you still. I don't know what it is. It's just there's something that is, it's almost a gravity outside of our world is still doing a bit of a number on you, connected.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
That could be whatever happened with the thing that we saw.
Yeah.
But one thing you find out with magic and multidimensional stuff is nothing is ever really. You can't understand it until you've had a good chance to dive deep in, and it's always going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, I gotcha. If it's something that's really outside of my realm of expertise, I spent a lot of my time like studying the sciences, and so I didn't really get much of a background in that. But yeah, I was just a little concerned.
Well, if anything happens, I mean, Visionary and I will be gone for a little while, but when we come back, we can check up on it. You probably know some other magical heroes you can check with.
All right.
He like
Thanks.
rattles off a few.
Yeah. I thank him and like, yeah, thank you very much. And just can we just keep this between us for now? I'm not
Absolutely.
really
He stops and goes, "Oh wait, don't go to Muerto if you have a question."
Muerto. Okay.
Because here's the thing: Muerto's going to mean well. Muerto's magic is all death based, so that's the kind of stuff he's going to be looking for, and it's only going to freak you out.
Now I'm freaked out.
And it's not your problem. The thing is, if I went to him and asked about stuff, he would tell me that everything. He looks at it all through death so all of his magic goes that way. So anything he understands magically happens through death. So if I went to him to help with it, I know I've got to get the money. This is how he works. I don't have that experience. So if you go to him, he would. This is like your soul's been ripped out and anchored. Not.
Okay. Thanks. I really appreciate that. That definitely would have freaked me out if I didn't have some background on that. But yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks.
Visionary kind of are prepping to. After that, are you going someplace to enjoy the evening? Because sometimes you got like the chamber you can go to where you can take off your suit, but also Absolute Zero started kind of going places and being.
Yeah, I think at that point, just after everything that I experienced and like, talking about like something that was really concerning, Absolute Zero definitely goes to his chamber where he can take off his suit, and he just like takes some time to just breathe.
Okay. And for what about Wraith and Bunker?
Well, so, I think, I don't know, did you want to have a quiet night?
If Wraith actually genuinely has free time, that's basically a minor miracle because she's a CEO of a corporation and a vigilante. So
yeah, exactly.
That there actually isn't an emergency in either situation that needs to be addressed immediately or needed to be addressed yesterday.
Probably as heavily scheduled.
There's also a good chance either you or your seconds kind of are like, you need to take a day. You need to take an evening and stop. And so they've, like, either yourself or someone else may have kind of put a crowbar in your schedule to separate things out a little bit.
Your butler may have.
So I think she may have, come to Tyler and just said, something amazing has happened.
Oh.
I actually have the rest of the night off. I'm not patrolling.
That's wonderful.
I'm not.
Oh,
I kind of don't know what to do. But I figured maybe you'd have an idea.
Why don't we go order in, or you want to go out?
I don't want to decide anything.
All right.
You tell me.
Okay. Well, let's I'll take you to my favorite restaurant. And from there we can go out, and I know it's been a long time since we've actually been able to go, dancing. Let's do that. And then I think we'll need some rest. It's been a long week.
It's been a long year.
That it has. So,
Where are we going again?
restaurant, dancing if there's a place to go dancing.
There's been a couple things that have kind of reopened. So this is one I'm trying. I don't know if it says in there, or how do you want to do this? Do people know who the two? Do you have secret identities, or do you want to have public identities?
I think both of Wraith's identities are public, but
Yeah.
I don't. The fact that the two are the same person, I don't.
Yeah,
think
no,
so.
yeah.
And that's what I was thinking is probably your CAO identity is probably more of your out in public identity compared to, and so that's kind of why Tyler would always be seen with that identity more than.
And do people know that Tyler's Bunker?
Tony Stark.
I think there's probably suspicions out there, but they're not positive.
Okay, so the problem you have with a multi-billionaire CEO and a person who there are lots of rumors is, if not Bunker, associated quite closely with Bunker being out, is paparazzi and other such go for y'all too.
Yeah.
The restaurant you're eating in, probably fairly high class, or are you slumming it? You went to a McDonald's.
Well, you see, my favorite place to go is actually on base because then I don't get bothered. So I pick the captain's lounge, the officer's lounge.
And then so when you go dancing, we'll say the paparazzi kind of catch you there.
Yeah, that one they would definitely.
Yeah, so you're sort of on your way in, and there's this one dude who is just the worst. And on a name generator, I'm about to pull up. Phone.
Alphonse.
A huge fan of name generators. I awful with. Jordan Dassault. Jordan Dassault is, and who's often sort of called Jordan Assault, is sort of what he's called as far as the paparazzi goes, because he's the type who likes to get in people's faces. Like he gets right up there instead of like have a lot of them will have that sort of, they're not looking necessarily for a combative relationship because it is how they make money and they do want you to be willing to stop and take some photos. Jordan likes to get direct, like the kind of crowd, and he has a habit of being at places before others seem to know. Among a lot of the superheroes who have like higher, well, the superheroes when they're out, but also those of you who have higher visibility, secret identities. They're sort of a joke. It's just some sort of just really sucky. His power is he just knows where to be at the right time. It's like the crowd kind of parts before him as he sort of steps out. There's a camera in your face. Bright, aggressively bright. Doesn't seem like it has to be quite that bright for the lights. And goes, Captain Vance, Miss Montgomery, you're out enjoying the city tonight?
Yes. We are.
And Miss Montgomery, what do you say to the rumors that you are possibly dating, if not the superhero Bunker, someone who is closely associated with Bunker?
That's a very interesting rumor.
Did you notice him maybe being gone at any point during the whole Oblivion fiasco? Is he missing? I mean, you don't seem to have been hurt by it, but then again, he wouldn't.
I'm sure he's working hard wherever he was, keeping us all safe.
You were talking about Captain Vance. Captain Vance keeping us all safe?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
He goes, well, you said he was keeping us all. You were sure he was keeping us all safe. Are you referring to Captain Vance? Keeping us all safe? Or Bunker? Or both?
You were asking me about Bunker.
About Captain Vance, who many believe is Bunker.
Who is right there being referred to.
Yeah.
Third
Yeah,
person.
does Captain Vance, you say anything on this? Or
Well, I'm sure at some point I'll have to debunk these rumors, but right now it's sometimes fun to entertain them. So I'll tell you what, I'm a military man. Sometimes I have to go off on missions that are secret. I will disappear from time to time. Just keep in mind that if I disappear at the same time as Bunker, it's probably just a coincidence. So
you do sometimes disappear at the same time as Bunker.
I have no idea when he disappears.
So the two of you are coming to the High Dive, one of the best-known nightclubs in America.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's got the best lighting for a dance tonight.
You see that the bouncer is kind of like is sort of over there and just like kind of gives you some eyes as he's looking like from them to the two of you. Is this place you go once in a while to get away and get dancing? Like would the bouncer know you maybe?
I think probably once in a while, but it would be very rare because
The higher
obviously
profile clients though, like Wraith in particular, like Maya Montgomery, they would kind of know people because you're supposed to. You treat the billionaires a little better. Then you treat the guy who's like, I got a $400 shirt, who's waiting in line. You see him kind of like unclip the little rope line. Just a few more questions. Miss Montgomery, are you doing anything
Shall we?
with the... What do you do?
What's the question?
Oh, he started asking, but then
he started. I interrupted him and said, "Shall we?" Because it's been opened for us. So.
Yeah, just wave and say, "Sorry, I'm afraid this is my night off."
No, I have just a couple more questions. And like as you get in, and just door kind of shuts, and the camera kind of goes outside. He starts to walk in. The bouncer just sort of turns. He just like, I'm gonna get not through me. Cut to a little bit later, there'll be like a window opening in a bathroom. Guy climbing through.
Camera on a fiber optic scope, sneaking its way through a hole.
Mini drone.
So what are Dana and Meredith doing this evening for Tachyon and her wife, who is the head of apparently used to be head of a model, but now is head of a charity foundation?
She's still a spokesperson for Cosmetique, but now her full-time job is she's running the Green Planet Conservancy.
I'm also now kicking myself for not ordering on the Kickstarter. They're doing a history of the Sentinel comics. I didn't realize how much detail they put into this. It doesn't actually exist.
They've had a lot of free time.
I might see if I can add to it because there's a lot.
She's head of Green Planet Conservancy. That's what she considers her main job right now. But she's still, you know, she's still a face at Cosmetique. Just not. She just doesn't work there day to day. She does advertising campaigns for them when they need her. I mean, you know, 'cause they spent so much money to promote her. They're not gonna they're not gonna willingly let go of her. And um, uh, my job is very prestigious, but it doesn't pay a huge amount of money. I want to go to. I understand. I want to go to Antoine's new place. The pop up that he opened up at 314 Washington. Can you get us in?
Um, yeah,
Right through Dana.
make a call. I was making a note of something. What was the kind of place again?
Antoine's. It's Provençal cooking.
What is Pape-en-Salt cookie?
Provençal. Sorry, it's south of France.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh,
it's southern
okay.
French. It's southern French cooking of a guy who's is the kind of restaurateur who's been in the United States for like 40 years, but you know, but flies back to France, you know, 3 or 4 times a year to kind of reconnect with his roots, and always comes back with a new menu for the restaurant every time, and it's always a knockout. Um, it's normally a place where it takes you about a month to get reservations. Especially since his new place right now is smaller than the old place was because the old place got demolished. And he hasn't they haven't opened up the whole new place isn't opened up yet, but he opened up the kitchen and the small restaurant, and I figured Dana might be able to get in.
Yeah, you hear her on the phone for a little bit, and she's like, would love. And again, is Tachyon? Do people know who Tachyon is?
Yes, Takyon's completely out. I mean, you know, I took this from a depiction of her teaching students at Freedom University with basically a lab coat thrown over her
Her costume.
over her costume.
Miss Stinson, you seem to wear Tachyon's costume a lot. Is that? Oh shoot!
No, she's completely out, and she has told Bunker that he should be out too. Really, I mean, Wraith's kind of in a different position, right? Because she deals with underworld, you know, mobsters and has shady contacts and stuff like that. And her two worlds don't mix too well, but there's no reason they.
So, yeah.
But anyway, she's still lost that argument up to this point. But
you're on the
Dana is recognizable by anybody everywhere because she's been on 40-foot high monitors, you know, in the middle of Megalopolis Square, you know, kind of thing, you know, hawking one beauty product or another.
You hear her on the phone, and she's like, "Yeah, we're looking for a night out. I know things have, believe us, we know things have been bad. Are we able to just get like just a small table off to the side? I mean, I know it's not totally open, but it would be actually privacy would be great for us.
Yeah, just a privacy screen. That would be great. Yeah.
Goes, all right. Yeah, we will be there shortly. Kind of hangs up the phone and goes, we have ourselves a reservation directly with him. And
Yes. I love him. Oh. Okay. Right. Okay. I have to remember to snack first. I'm gonna go.
sort of smiles and goes, "Are you going to be okay taking a taxi with me, or is that going to be?"
What? You think I want to get there ahead of you?
She goes, "I'm kidding. Call us an Uber."
Okay. Can I can call the XL, right?
Sure.
Okay. Right. Good. Little privacy. Okay. Oh my God.
What?
Whew. I really need this.
Because after the last couple months, all of you should be able to take some time off, except
Can't. I mean, not really. There's there's just there's too much going on. I mean, this thing not only, I mean, it destroyed so much, but it also left us with so much technology lying around that we don't understand. And they're depending on me and a few other people to figure some of it out. We have a dark matter set up now at the graduate laboratory. A dark matter setup.
Ozzy goes, Meredith,
What?
I know you're always at 30 different things at the same time. Tonight, got all that off. Be with me. Other people, like you hired good people to be a part of this. Good people who can take care of it if you're not there in their stead. So for an evening, no superhero stuff. Don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be Tachyon. I don't have to be the most beautiful woman in America. We can just go to dinner.
Still have to be the most beautiful woman in America.
Well, I don't have to have that entire persona cast upon me by all the people. One of the best known faces next to one of the very best known in the world.
I don't photograph well most of the time.
It's a gift. You don't sit still long enough to photograph well.
That's why, if they have a shutter speed that's less than one, what was it? 12,456. They just get a smear.
In my head, as you are going into the restaurant, you are still talking about shutter speeds. So I don't know if we kind of catch that as you.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Do you think he has? Okay. We haven't seen this menu. This has to be a new menu. Do you think it might be a new menu?
There it is. You know what people do when they go to restaurants?
No.
They look at the menu. We will tackle that when we get there. When we get there, there will be a menu, and they will tell us, and we will fight. She grabs your hand and goes, "We will get through this." I know this is not the impending end of the universe coming, and I know but dinner, damn it, I will get us through dinner. If you don't have anything left, you lean on me, and I will get us through dinner. You understand?
Aye, Captain.
That gives you a kiss on the forehead and goes, right.
Right.
So, for Absolute Zero, for Jake Frost.
Yep.
We'll say, as you're sort of on, you said you were walking on your way home,
Yeah.
kind of enjoying the night. There's one of those things where you kind of go by an alleyway, like the camera, like the panel would sort of show in the back. There's just like a burst of like darkish light that you don't see once you're past it appears. And as you are kind of turn a corner, go the way you just hear like a. It's almost like something, and you've heard this stuff enough. It's like a body hitting a wall, and then you kind of hear the sound of someone like trying to catch, just trying to catch their breath.
Yeah.
And then like the sound of someone almost like it's something being picked up with the dragging, and then a bit higher up on the wall, it sounds like it's in an alley, kind of like near you on the building that you're walking past.
So yeah, I kind of try and stealthily look and see what's going on.
All right. As you go in, there is you got like a young college student who is maybe like hidden some of the bars nearby, and he's the person who's actually like kind of picked him up against the wall is about 7.5 feet tall.
Jeez.
Very, very pale, and as it actually hits, he's sort of like he's looking at, he's got the kid up here. Look at the other end of the alley. He kind of looks this way. He doesn't quite see you yet because you're sort of hiding, and just like a longish tongue almost flickers out. He just goes, scream. Help me get.
So that's when I just shout, "Am I interrupting something?"
And he just like it does a toss, not like doesn't like whip him down the thing, but enough that the kid hits the ground again, hard. I mean, his breath has been knocked out of him twice. Sort of turns, smiles. He's wearing like almost like a darkish suit. You do see that there is like something kind of on his chest. Like there's almost like device touch that's sitting in there that's mostly hidden under the coat.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, absolute. I come on behalf, traveler.
And so I look him in the face and I'm like, wish I knew that name as well as you knew mine.
You'll know that name. Many versions of you have known that name. Many versions of you have known me. I am Than. You and I. Business.
Well, talk to my agent. She'll get in contact with you, and you may hear from me in 4 to 5 business days. And as I'm saying, kind of joking with him, I go and I use my camera module to take a picture of who this person is.
And while that happens, and again, we get a click as it comes out the bathroom. At the club, we have Jordan Dassault. Comes out. The two of you have had a couple drinks. You're dancing, and once again, like real close to you, like with the flash, kind of gets you fairly close, fairly strongly. So at some point when you do this, to get him off of your tail or get him out, it'll end up being an overcome, but we don't have to go. You have a pain in the ass photographer coming after you and clicking tons of pictures.
All right. So I just let him do whatever he's doing, sort of lead through the different crowd and, go up, request paparazzi.
I mean, if he's going to go ahead and get that close, I wouldn't mind trying to like throw in some gadget on his camera to go ahead and take care of that.
Destroy some footage. Cause some technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
if he's going to be rude about it.
Yeah, as it comes up real quick. Yeah, and it's like Bunker. You're trying to like get you two kind of further on, as he just seems to sort of pop out. Like he just managed. He's one of those guys who just knows how to snake his way through a crowd. And he sort of pops up another. If you want to make your overcome roll to. Oh, by the way, remember, take your hero points from last time and split those up into the bonuses you want to. Because remember, you can go. You split them up into discrete bonuses. You can use those bonuses whenever you like. But if you want to go like, 1 + 4 and 1 + 1, or 2 + 2s, or +3, however you want to split those up.
Do our ones from last time, like, do those go into like the back issue or whatever? Or is that?
Yeah, those ones end up going away because those are only for the one issue.
Okay.
Wonder if
And then if you want to make your roll to overcome and fuck up.
Yeah, I think as long as I'm going to do this, I may as well. I will. Tyler, I will be right back, and I will separate from Tyler and slip off into the shadows, and do it in such a way that he can't keep track of both of us at the same time. So I'll actually try to
And-
use my principle of stealth to completely just like sneak up behind him, get the gadget on the camera, and
Ninja.
And I'll kind of head off to the DJ at the same time and try and get a couple songs requested in.
Look at that roll.
Asking for achy breaky heart. That's all I want.
so that is a 9.
Completely succeeds. What do you do? I think everyone gets a hero point for that.
Oh, that is true.
Well, I was gonna ask for Party in Megalopolis actually, but it's close.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get you
so-
party in Megalopolis.
So yeah, she comes out of the shadows behind him, slips this little gadget onto his camera, and then steps out in front of him and gives him a little wave as his camera just starts like fritzing out, wiping the memory card, and just
Miss Montgomery, Mr. Shit. No. I have so much on there. And you did this moment where he just looks in shock, and like as you sort of disappear into the crowd, you can just kind of hear him go, I haven't offloaded pictures in a week. As it completely just burps out. Do you catch back up with Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, up by the DJ booth? The DJ booth's like, do you want Party Megalopolis? Do you want anything else?
Yeah, let's just to add a little bit of insult to injury, I will request paparazzi as well.
He just kind of looks up and goes, yeah, that's the only time we see like flashes from in here is when the pops are in here. All right, not a problem. Is that probably when Maya just steps out of the crowd up Terry?
Yeah.
And about that point, as you see the Salt Gordon start to like head towards the door. About that point, there is this like weird like screaming sound, and you see this what looks like a spirit, like a raggedy, like parts of it actually aren't necessarily connected to each other. As this large spirit kind of dips through the room, and there's people start to dive out of the way, and on the stage, there's a man who walks out and goes, Wraith! Bunker! We know you're here. The thief of peace has sent us.
Who?
He said, thief of peace is not a term you've ever heard.
I need to get somewhere that I can change.
Would they have made me check my cannon?
No, you do have the thing that you basically got the Iron Man thing on your suit.
Yeah.
Except that like you don't want to go through the roof.
Yeah, need to step outside.
Yeah. No, it's just it says in my outer suit mode I still have my cannon.
Well, you can still have it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
the
not
big gigantic one.
It's, pardon me while I whip this out. Oh no.
I mean, check your coat, sir. It looks very dangerous.
It's a little heavy.
What is this bazooka? No bazookas allowed in the clubs here.
Not a bazooka. It's a rail gun. I don't think it says no rail guns allowed in the club. So check it. All right. So what do you two do? People are running and screaming. There's a lot of chaos.
I think I will create a diversion while you get a chance to go change, and I'll try and pull them outside if I can.
How do you want to do the diversion?
I think I will try and organize the crowd to the exits.
Okay, okay, so big, just
And
trying to
then
are you doing it in a way that
I'm
they're
going
able
to
to see you, or
I'm going to basically try and direct the crowd to the outside through the front doors and most of the emergency exits. And I'll head to one specific one towards the back so that we head the opposite way, hopefully, than the crowd does.
all right? If you overcome,
All right.
and Wraith will making that roll. What are you doing?
Yeah, trying to sneak off and find a spot where I can change.
Intuition.
You did the bathroom, you headed to the kitchens, or you headed.
I mean, any secluded enough spot, and even if there are people there, I can like tell them we gotta get out of here, and then as soon as they're out, then I can use the space. So
I was a bouncer for 2 years at a dance club. There are lots of places to hide in a dance club. It's most of what I did was like, yeah, you can't do that in public.
So with the recovery of the hit points, are we completely up right now,
yeah,
or
because,
did we just go up to the?
Everyone's completely healed at this point. It's been like
Okay. All right. I just wasn't sure, so I didn't want to. All right. Let's see how I did. Oh, I'm gonna say that's a 5.
All right. That is a succeed with a minor twist. Yeah, we'll say as you're kind of getting them out, at one point, like you see, like the spirit thing kind of dip down. And what they're doing is they're not directly attacking the crowd. They're definitely scaring it. But the man up on the stage, just sort of actually spies you and goes, "Vance!" As you're kind of getting the people out, he clearly recognizes you, and he leaps from the stage onto the ground and just like stands up. And it's so much more fun to crack when you're not quite as soft. Now you have time to dip out, like they've definitely seen.
Yep. Okay.
All right, do you dip out while the?
Yep.
All right, you going like to a back alley or?
Yeah, that was my thought, was to try and get just to one exit and direct everyone away from that exit, and then hopefully they'll come after me.
Yeah, you've got everyone there yet. As you kind of head through that way, and you hear him just go, "Carries!" Got him. And the thing just sort of like rushes in that direction as you hit the outside. I'm assuming at that point is your costume hurtling down to earth at that moment.
Yeah, I will be calling it when as soon as I get a chance to. So.
Okay. And let's pop over to what's Antoine's?
Yes.
Antoine comes out and goes, "Hello, Dana Meredy, so good to see you. Please welcome, have a seat." And like takes you into like kind of one of the VIP area. Like there's not a whole lot of people out, partly just because of the amount of damage aren't going quite as much yet to some of the places, and they've just sort of got some stuff reopened. He goes, "This is our soft invitation reopening, so we have space for you. Please grab some menus and sort of." He rattles off. I have a very primitive palate. So whatever would be good in a French restaurant, I have no idea.
I
We have French fries and toast.
look. I want to start with the bouillabaisse and then whatever you think. And I hand the menu back to him.
How brave of an eater are you?
You know that by now, Antoine. I'll try anything.
He looks and goes,
Maybe not intestines. That's about it.
Well, if not intestines, then I don't know. I will make something. Would you like a chicken nuggets? Or he just sort of smiles, looks over at Dana, and
I blushed. Um, I'll have whatever she's having. I wave at Dana.
yeah, Dana just sort of smiles and orders off the menu, and goes, "Right, I'll get that for you, and then uh, for you, I will get you F. No intestines."
Red wine, uh, please.
They head out, and Dana just kind of leans over and goes, "How much intestines does Greek food use?"
Not very much, but you remember that one appetizer? Do you remember? Yeah,
What?
the whitish thing in strips.
I love that. Whoa, no,
Yes,
no, no.
No, right. It was tripes. That's intestines, right?
That's a fish. Is that not a fish?
No, you're pretending because you're because you want to spare my feelings because I grew up in the Midwest.
Yes, I grew up with around people that ate intestines all the time, so I always know when I go to food from these different countries. It looked good. It was good. I sometimes don't ask. Now I know it's intestines because you know that.
You've been to every country in Europe, even Liechtenstein, I think.
And that's
Although
where I learned sometimes you don't ask because when you do, you're like, oh, hey, that was good. And now I don't want to eat it again. And that's a shame because I liked it.
I'm sorry for having asked. Hey,
This-
Dana, sweetie, I wanted to talk about something.
Yeah.
Well, you remember I told you about that we were in the strange void dimension thing, and I promise this is not going to be about superheroing.
Honey, mention the strange void dimension.
Yeah.
How can it not be about superheroes? What is it?
I had to go hyperspeed while I was there,
And
or
are
else
there
we would
any-
have gotten lost.
There's that moment where she just kind of like pauses. She goes, "Are there any after effects?
Yes.
How bad is it?"
I don't know. My physiology is unique. I see lines that connect things and people.
Like fate lines?
Like little sort of glowing filaments.
Like
I-
a. Huh.
I can't tell what I tried to figure out what the pattern is, but I don't have enough details, and besides I haven't told anybody.
I think you should maybe tell some people who know about that interdimensional weird stuff. I mean, you know a lot, but not everything.
Sweetie, I'm a little afraid to do that.
What happens if you don't?
I'm hoping it'll just, get better.
Yeah, I hope you'll get better. The thing is, if you go and ask other people about this thing that happens, it's not like you did something wrong. You were saving yourself and others.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have done it.
What would have happened if you didn't?
We probably would have gotten lost in that dimension.
Okay, then you would have been gone forever.
I don't know. I mean, you never know what would have happened if you hadn't done something. But you remember when after that fight with Progeny, how I couldn't stop the vibrations for like, what was it? It was more than a week. We thought it might be permanent damage to the nervous system.
Have to get this checked out. Have to find out
I
what's
don't
happening.
want, I don't want to find out that I fucked up my brain.
Well, it's better finding out you fucked up your brain than not knowing. And besides, your brain seems fine. Your brain's always top notch.
It's working fine in the lab, yes, but I wanted to tell you before I told anybody else.
Okay.
I but I don't have time to be a patient or a subject. There's too much to do.
You can't do everything.
I have students. I have a year's backlog of alien technology to wade through that nobody else on the Eastern Seaboard knows how to do.
I don't even think you know how to do most of it. You're winging it as much as anybody else.
But I can no, but I mean, I'm the only speedster scientist on the books.
There are other scientists.
Yes, and they work at normal speed. They can't do 4 experiments at once.
About this point, you hear like something fall in the kitchen.
Oh God! I hope that wasn't. I hope that wasn't.
And then, like the door, like a door to the kitchen opens really fast. You hear someone yelling, and some people just like hauling ass out of the kitchen. A moment later, the woman that you see comes through the door. Tall has like a lot of like almost snow and ice around her, and there's like skulls and such on what she's wearing. It looks less super villainy and more oddish.
Yeah.
Which I mean, granted, there's plenty of super. Sort of looks through and goes, Tachyon. The heart of the storm is.
What what do you mean?
I am Durs. He fought before in many worlds.
Not this one, I'm betting.
Not this Tachyon. I haven't tasted your blood yet.
Oh, it's going to be it's that.
One of those.
I look at Dana and I go, Code Gray, sweetheart.
All right.
And
Nope.
right. Code Gray means wrap yourself up. I am getting you out of line of fire.
Okay. So for everyone at this point, we have this in 3 different locations. We've got Lammy and Carius. What I'm going to do is, so if you see where I put my people in there, these are all considered lieutenants. This will actually not necessarily be like fight to the death time. And I'm putting you underneath the ones who are in your location. And who is going first?
I mean, we can start with me if you want.
Okay.
So currently at this point, I'm assuming we've had low level villains before.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't recognize this person. So that's what I'm assuming, is that he's kind of just, some pushover I've never heard of before. Someone like, I deal with the serious villains. I'm part of the Freedom Five. Like, this is just some guy, and I'm just basically right now just trying to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, but I just don't want to really deal with him. But he's also kind of messing with him. So I'm just kind of bro, leave him alone. Yeah, and you got some crazy delusions going on right now.
Because illusions possibly. You or who I was sent.
And I kind of let out a groan, oh God, one of these. because like my assumption is that he's another one of these people who thinks that he's on some crazy spiritual mission to do something or other.
You have run into those before.
I have many.
I am one of the heralds. The heart of the storm,
Right.
the feast of destruction, the breaker of lines.
Slayer of Worlds. Okay.
Worlds?
Anyways,
He just kind of stopped for a moment and just like, worlds up and
of course they always are. I'm assuming this isn't going to end peacefully. Can't talk you out of this. All right, and so that's where I start. I drop my my like try to be a normal person clothes.
Mhm.
My poor impression of trying to fit in. Yep.
You drop
Absolutely.
it angrily or sexily? You're like,
Oh, sexily. I'm getting something out of this.
someone on the street go, oh my.
And I'm like, at least one good thing for this day. So
Doesn't his Mark III suit look great?
it really does. You did good work.
I have Dana knew a designer.
Yeah, so like as I get
my
that
Versace
reaction,
armor.
yeah, as I get that reaction,
It's just really good looking. This previous one looked like he was wearing this kind of baggy, almost astronaut, thing.
I was
This one-
partial to that suit.
No, it was very functional. Okay, I made you all these suits. It was very functional, but this one looks great.
You're not wrong about that. So, anyways, I'm going to, do my standard. Like I'm treating this like it's just a standard fight, like nothing big deal right now. So I'm just gonna cold blast.
Okay.
So off to my pulling out my character sheet. I think it was Freezer Burn is the name of the thing that I use.
I think possibly.
Yeah, Freezer Burn, which is attack using cold, take cold damage equal to your main die. So that's going to be, I'm going to use cold and range shot, ranged combat. Cool. Let's see how this turns out. And scroll. Okay. So that's a 5.
All right.
Oh wait, no, I do damage equal to my Use your max die. So yeah, that's a 12.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 1 anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. It knocks him down. So with lieutenants, each one knocks them down 1. If they roll above the damage you do, then nothing changes as far as their dice. Otherwise, as it actually strikes, it almost gets funneled into whatever is sort of on his chest as it sort of spins, and then sort of hits and.
I also take cold damage equal to my main die.
All right.
So he takes it, and it surprises me. I'm like, oh, you're a little tougher than I gave you credit for.
Last time you said that.
Yeah, I'm sure I say that all the time.
Who are you passing it off to? If you open up the turn tracker, you'll see all of the people.
Okay. I'll pass it off to Than. Missing the oaths.
Yeah, and Than with a very fast, just kind of rushes forward, and as his hand strikes you, there's almost a slight drain almost from you that then he hits you for 3.
He does?
Yeah, so as he kind of rushes forward, it just sort of grabs on to the front of the armor, and you feel like a bit of a drain. He's going to hit you for 3 and also boosts himself for 1.
Well, guess what that does for me? That puts me into yellow.
All right.
And so now I get the modular realignment.
Free boost.
Yep, free boost time. So I think I rolled it with cold, right? Boost using cold. So I'll just roll this and what did we get? Oh, sorry. So boost, that was 11.
Yep, that's plus 3.
Yeah, so I got a +3. Basically, what happens is my new suit just like on impact releases a steam of cold, and now the air is just like my perfect environment.
All right, Than passes it off to Durst, who's there with Tachyon. And as Durst kind of comes in, like almost this winter wind thing just like whips through the room, um, biting kind of deep into you, and then trying to slam you against the wall for a single point of damage. Take that.
Well, I clearly dodged most of it. I am
Oh, by the way,
okay.
all right. What do you have to do? When you hit, the other thing I forgot to do here, when you struck, the thing on the chest went. It actually reduced. It actually moved the turn counter ahead one. That was from absolute zero. Tachyon, what do you do? They pass it to
I
you.
am going to I'm going to try to draw Durst out of this populated spot. And I say to her, too slow, as I suspect you were before. And I'm out the front door and into a relatively still wrecked portion of the plaza.
Okay, so do an overcome to get her out of there.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, this is an overcome using speed.
And depending if you the one thing you can do, which we've talked about before, but if you want to take a minor twist, you can also make that a complicated action, which will do like you could do that and a hinder or that and attack along with it. So you can take a minor twist to essentially do have one of your normal actions be two basic actions.
Right. But I'm trying. In this case, I'm trying to get out of a complicated environment. So I don't know what an appropriate minor twist would be. Let's see. Um, um, yeah, I'll take a hindrance to my next action. And I will do a hinder at the same time I'm doing an overcome. And the rationale is that I'm basically going to I'm going to jet between cover here, so that when she pops out for me, she doesn't have a good idea as to where I am.
All right.
I'm not obviously I'm sacrificing, my own ability to whack her, but since I'm using principle of speed, I can end up anywhere in the environment. So I'll end up, halfway up a building or something where she doesn't, where she wouldn't necessarily expect to look. All right. So speed. I'm going to say this is self-discipline. And the overcome's an 8. And the hindrance effect is just a -1.
Okay. And so you taking the minor twist to do two different actions with that, both the overcome and did you want to do like attack, a boost, a hinder?
I'm doing a hinder.
Okay.
To her next action.
All right. So And you said you were taking a hinder on yourself for the
Yes,
Yep.
and I'll take a hinder on myself in order to get that.
so -1 for those
And-
as you see her coming out after you.
Yes.
Who do you want to pass it to?
I'll pass it to Bunker.
All right, Bunker.
Okay. So do I have my suit then, or am I still waiting for my suit?
No, we can say as it hits the ground as
Okay.
basically hits around you as you go outside.
Okay. It just makes a difference.
Yeah, and you see Lamia, the guy, is like coming out the door and is rushing kind of toward.
All right.
What do you do?
At this point, I'm just gonna don't know too much about him. Just gonna blast him and see how things go from there.
When in doubt, shoot.
Yeah. So, combat. So, ooh, a 2.
Right. So yeah, as what are you hitting him with?
My riot cannon.
As it actually does strike him, and the thing is, you should have done damage, but you see sort of underneath the shirt there is like a device that's there that as it kind of hits the device itself starts to glow and like little bits of it start to spin. And he actually appears fairly unfazed by that hit.
Yeah.
Since he rolled above what you did, his die size does not. It did, however,
Yeah.
when you hit him, probably once you drop them by a die level, it's going to stop raising up the uh, the turn counter each time. But as long as they're at their
Yeah.
full die level, it's going to kind of shunt it into. Who are you passing it to?
Okay. Um, I'll pass it to Lamia.
Yep. And yeah, Lamia is kind of so predictable. Everything's a hammer in your hands. Here you kind of see that there's actually some like
Certainly has worked in the past.
he's got some fangs and like the claws sprout, looking rather vampire-y as he like, rushes forward, tries to like kind of spin around underneath and tries to like basically whip out the back of your knees on the arm. Like he's looking for weak spots and seems to know where they generally are. He is hitting you for 3.
Okay. Coming to.
And he passes it to Wraith. You're inside the club. That spirit thing is like still heading towards the air, out towards the back where Bunk.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be Wraith, swinging in out of the shadows as usual, and throwing some knives.
You have seen enough like spiritual ghost-like villains and stuff in the past. You can tell which ones are like corporeal and which ones are totally incorporeal. This thing has got physical form. As you swing out from one of from like the balcony.
Yep. Yeah. So that is a 5, and
Right.
then a hinder of a 4.
Yeah, once again, as it sort of strikes, there is even there was a physical thing that struck it. There is like a weird sort of energy burst, and then the hinder of 4 is various with his. And it rushes towards you. As it's and just trying to like strike at you. It normally has a +1 to its attack. Oops, 1d6 now. But now it's just got a -1. As it like even though you're sort of swinging through it, just it manages to kind of catch you for 4 points. And the turn is now in the yellow. I gotta move this because the forward. Carius is gonna hand it back to Than. And Than's there with you, Absolute Zero.
Yep.
Kind of like struck you before for a little bit, and then just as it kind of rushes in, just to elbows you sort of hard across the face plates. 1d10. Oh, then this will be. It hits you for 6. Just I would dearly love to bring you. Surrender is still an option. Passes over to you.
Okay. I'm going to. So my faceplate opens up, and I just blast a huge blast of cold air right in his face. And I shout, and while I'm doing that, I shout at him, I don't remember giving you that option. So that's 7 is my max die.
Well.
Yeah, plus 3, right?
Wait, I rolled below 7. I mean, like that is it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just like I would love to bring it back, my master. I could. Yeah. And he just goes flying back and into the wall and just sort of like just caked with frost on him. It's like, oh, damn it! Who are you passing it to?
I'll pass it off to Tachyon.
Tachyon. Got Curse is headed out the door where you've led her.
And you're on mute.
Still on mute.
I say to her from above, from pretty much above and behind her. As I said, too slow. And I super speed pile driver. And we're in yellow, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll go with light speed barrage. Let's see how many punches she can take at once.
The dash thing where you just punching the dude in the face.
Speed, close combat, yellow. Okay. And I didn't get doubles, so with my hinder, that's a 6.
Break her device, which means it will take it up 1. I think now everyone is down 1 die. Lamia actually is not down 1. Everyone else is.
So I punch her and it goes, and that device does a thing.
Yeah, it's
and I look right at the device as I am passing right there, and I say, "What the hell?" is this thing? And I say, and I tap her chest before 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 leaving it, at 800 miles an hour.
Who do you pass it to?
I'll pass it to I'll pass it to Durs.
All right. He's like, touch it. It's done what was required of it. And then she just, as you're sort of moving on, this like blast of snow and frost just emanates out from her at a huge amount of speed, hitting you for 7.
Ow.
And then Durst will pass it to Wraith.
That stings.
And the area of effect person after this.
Yes. Yeah, and the one that doesn't have to close with the speedster, because everybody who has to close with the speedster gets punched.
They pass it off to Wraith.
More knives. and maybe try to I think I will be using my grappling hook to end up outside of the club with
I'm going to make you do a whole adventure without that grappling hook.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to go normal speed. Take that.
I can do that. I'll use my brain.
That is a 7.
All right. Yeah, Carrie. You said so. You attacked with the thing and then hit the grappling hook out.
Yeah.
Yeah. As it and then as you swing out the door, it's like rushing towards you. It's now at a D4. Carius has been hurt fairly badly. Yeah, Bunker, you can see it start to come out that the door as Wraith just kind of grapplings out. Wraith, who you pass it to?
I will pass it to Bunker.
All right, Bunker.
Yeah, it's just I think I need to hit this one so there's that movement. Stars aren't moving quite as quick. Hopefully, as much as I would like to just take out the other one. So we will same as last time. Hopefully, better roll.
Are you hitting Lamia or Karis who's coming out the door?
Lamia.
Okay.
Because Lamia is still able to move the tracker if I. So that's why I'm trying to bring that down.
Right.
And I think I'm gonna add my +3 to that, so it'll be an 8.
All right. Yeah, as it what are you hitting him with?
My cannon again.
Right. As it just at this point, as he's trying to like small spin around, as you just catch him and again he goes slams into the wall, and he's like as it sort of hits and just he's got a smile on his face when he looks back up.
Mm-hmm.
Who you passing it to?
Let's go. So, Wraith's gone, right? So let's go Lamia then.
All right, as Lamia hits the wall and just kind of hops up, and then and he's just coming basically almost straight for. He looks like he's trying to get like a claw in through the eye plate. Oh, hits for 6.
Okay.
I guess 5 technically, probably maybe. You're in the yellow zone for the scene.
Sorry?
Oh, the scene itself is in the yellow zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not. So
So that's 4 points of armor. 4 points through the armor, right?
So that you saying that's confused me. Don't.
Oh,
Isn't
sorry.
the status?
It hit for 6. The status of the
status is
scene is
off.
at yellow.
Oh, okay. So that's what determines.
Well, what does it say for your armor?
I thought it was off our health.
That depends. What does it say for your armor?
The armor.
Yeah, it'll say whether it might just be your health. It might also be whether the scene or anything else.
Physical damage by 1 if you're in the green zone, 2 while you're in the yellow zone, and 3 while you're in the red zone.
You're in the yellow zone, so it'll be.
Okay. So 6 minus 2 is 4. Putting me, unfortunately, not into the yellow yet. But for my powers, I'm still going off the green, right? That's what was confused. You just confused.
Oh no. Okay, basically you always go with whatever. Like, there's certain things will say if your health is in a certain thing, and then you just use what it is. Otherwise, you always use whatever is closest to red. So currently, you have yellow powers open.
Okay.
And in a moment, everyone will have red powers. As the carries, as carries kind of just like howls and rips through the out that door, and just like a large claw tries to essentially hit where Wraith was.
You mean where that smoke bomb is exploding?
Yeah, for 1 point of damage.
The smoke cloud is hit for 1 point of damage.
Right. That goes into the red. They're actually going to pass it first back to the environment, which will make it essentially the last one of the red. At this point, they all start to glow a little bit. Next turn, if it on the next turn after everyone's done here, they can move it to the red. They will all like basically start to phase out. Glowing starts to appear around them. They're gonna hit the carries again, real quick. As carries is once again gonna try to like rush after where you might have gone, hitting for 3. Like in the smoke cloud, and
then. This is a new turn though, so I can have another reaction.
Absolutely.
Okay. More smoke for you.
Okay. Lamia, Lamia ends up just like in like a bit of darkness, sort of starts to appear around Bunker, especially around kind of around your sensors, and some of this is actually reaching through like the interior of it, which is going to give you a -2 for hinder. Than is I don't think you used your +3 last time, or did you use the +3 last time? Oh, I used the +1 too. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I didn't need it, so I don't know how that works. I didn't.
It makes sense. You might be able to save it for another one. Then usually it's on your next one, but if you can justify like holding it one.
Okay.
Yeah, as Than ends up just like and like pops open the thing on his chest a bit, and there's like a very like big like, flash of light, which will get you a -2 hinder.
Can I
Curse.
defend that?
What?
Can I defend that?
Defend is against.
I have a reaction.
Oh, if you have a reaction that does something, yeah.
Yeah, it says when an opponent attacks. Is this considered an attack or no?
It's considered a hinder.
Okay.
So it throws a minus, which still leaves you at a total net of +1.
Mm-hmm.
And the same in this case with Durst, with like the cold starts to intensify, making it a little harder to move in the area that you're in, Tachyon. And then they're going to pass it to Wraith. All of them have gone at this point. So technically has the turn. Now up to y'all. Wraith, what do you do?
Well, let's see if we can't take out carries.
I can target multiples at this point. In case that makes
What
a
is the I can remove a physical bonus or penalty along with my. Is the hinder on bunker a physical penalty?
Yeah, I mean it's essentially a darkness around
Okay.
bunker.
So I guess I am using my grappling hook to swing by, throw knives at carries, and like pull bunker like away a bit so he's out of this.
You
All
could,
right.
you could just use a light source.
They're fun to pull. Just,
You
just
gotta-
Well,
Wraith
got
just
some-
hopping on
the
the head
move
of
is
giant.
the move is called grappling hook. So
Yeah. That will also remove bunkers -2.
Okay. So, guess what is this? Okay, and then for the status die, do I roll green or yellow? Because my health is in green, but or no, or red.
You roll red because you always go with what is closest to red.
Got it. Okay. So it's an
Is it-
8.
Yeah, it'll so carries as you hit with the knives again. It just kind of it hits the ground and just and is out. Passing it to
Bunker.
Okay, so you still targeted carries then?
I did, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how this works then. So I'm going to well, this one doesn't say I can't attack the same target with them, but we'll see. I probably have to take a minor twist for this because I didn't use my reaction because I didn't understand how that worked. But I will be switching to turret mode. And I'm going to use my Omni Blast on Lamia.
yeah, so Lamia kind of like it sees you go out of the darkness, and then the darkness starts to part just to show you in turret mode, and there's a look on his face like, "Ugh. Oh,
Okay. So that's that. This and red. So now the thing is, with that one, that's okay. There you go. Okay, so I use right cannon and at least one bonus. So I have to get rid of my other bonus die. And can I use the hero one for that?
oh, the hero points from the hero points you use at any point.
Okay. So no, it's just I have to get rid of a bonus in
Oh
order
yeah,
to
yeah, you
do this.
use that bonus.
So And you use your max, mid, and min dice.
All right.
Destroy all your bonuses, adding each of them to this attack first.
Yeah. So as it strikes him, it just into the wall and just kind of hits it, and is like very much the worse for wear. Who are you handing it off to?
I will hand it off to Tachyon.
I'm seeing lines, which I don't understand what they mean. But I have a notion as to what might be happening. And I'm going to go to I'm going to seek out a 5-point vibrational mode, and use speed to set myself up as part of a standing wave, in order to do something that I have in order to do the next thing I'm going to do. So this is a boost on self. And let me just, I don't think. So. And I'll use my I'll use the stabilization device helps with this, so I'll use that. So I'm going to get I guess I'm going to get a 5. I'll get a +2 boost, shake off the -1.
All right.
And so I'm just standing there in the plaza, humming. The body is humming up to a pitch that would, crack car windows if there are any nearby.
Back a few. Nope. Pass it from there to absolute 0.
I pass it to absolute 0.
All right.
So quick question regarding my thermal shockwaves ability.
Yep.
It says attack 3 targets using cold, one of which must be you. Since there's only one other target, do I only use one target or
Yeah, basically the other one might just go. You might just throw the other one up in the air, so it's not hitting anything.
Okay, cool. We're gonna thermal shockwave this.
Okay.
So attack 3 targets using cold, one must be you. Apply your max die to one, mid die to another, and min die to the third. Well, that wasn't great. +1.
You didn't Than with 5?
Yeah, I hit Than with 5.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
I'm rolling for shit.
Yep. But then I recover 4.
Yep. It is the new turn. Since the turn already moved it ahead, it does not go into the end of the round yet. Who are you passing it off to?
Pass it off to one of us.
I'm going to pass it off to Bunker.
Okay. I guess I'll do a normal attack this time.
Which is basically was guaranteed to take Lemmy. Lemmy is a D4, or rather, unless you get like a 1, 2, or a 3. If you have to roll all 1, 2s, or 3s, then
yeah, I use my max plus min. So.
Oh yeah, On the chance you happen to roll all ones,
Yeah.
just want to make you roll. As he's starting to get up, he's like, "I will not be beaten by."
So
Yep,
5 and a
that's-
4.
Yep, it's. He hits the ground and is out.
Right.
Give it to us.
Yeah. Give it to Tachyon.
Tachyon?
Okay. I charged down upon Dersey. And I put my hand on that device that she has. And say, I don't care where you go, but I want this. I'm going to try to vibrate it loose from her at hyper.
Okay.
I'm going to try and separate her from the device. So this is an overcome with speed and science and red. And I got a +2 roaring into it. It's that's an 11.
Really succeeds. Yeah, as you kind of grab it, and it literally just kind of goes through her as you've got it like that you're doing it like hyperspeed.
This is a hyperspeed vibration. So this is there's not a lot that can withstand this unless it's actually a part of her body.
Yeah, so it just kind
I'm
of
guessing it isn't.
kind of comes off your hands. Ah! As she kind of tumbles back from it. And who are you handing it off to?
Wraith.
Yeah, you've got both Bami and Karis at your place have both been taken out. You do anything, or you just pass it to absolute zero?
So Wraith has just a tiny bit of time to actually dance.
Yeah. All right. And then absolute zero?
Says, well, the dinner was good.
Pass it to me. Is this the person who said that like your blood tastes good or something like that? I've tasted your blood
Yes.
before. Oh, so like he's kind of like injured and like kind of heaping in the corner, and so like I kind of like just walk up to him as he's like kind of like laying down and just stare down at him and go, "How does this taste?" And I blast him with the thermal, one more thermal shockwave.
Free. Once you roll ones. That's all I've been rolling is
Okay.
ones. Yep, that won't matter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and-
yeah, your blood is as super cool as the rest of you. He doesn't want it. He'd get his tongue stuck to you at least.
Yeah. Also, just of note that that 8 brings me back to my max health.
What is your total health?
29.
Okay. Oh, damn. Yeah, Durst just, as you kind of grab it off, just this huge amount of like ice and snow goes like almost like a cannon, like almost through her and towards you, hits you for, and then as she passes it to the turn, it goes past the passing the turn tracker. She just like starts like the glow which is continuing on her, just almost like whips her out of this dimension into someplace else. Everyone else, you have an unconscious villain. Tachyon, what are your hit points at?
My hit points are at 11. I just scraped the bottom of the yellow barrel.
Should I roll my my bonus or no?
Bonus
Because
for...
I just switched into green.
Oh, at this point, there's probably... no, go ahead and roll it.
Does
You
that-
might use it. If there's an overcome, you might use it.
Yeah. Okay. Back to my character. What do we get for cold? So I got a 4
All right, so that is a
+1, I think. Right?
2, or yeah, +2.
Cool.
All right, are we cool with taking just like a couple minutes for a bathroom and such?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I will be Nice. Oh. Holy shit. Have you watched Schitt's Creek?
You talking to us? Because you're muted.
Any of you watch Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek just won a ton of Emmys. I think it may have won all
Good.
of the acting and like writing Emmys for the comedy section of good on them.
That's funny.
You know,
So, like, even the Emmys needed them to be on Netflix before they could hear of them. Like, I think, like, doesn't like most of the industry kind of hate Netflix? Like,
Yeah, but it's funny because
what are they doing?
I think a lot of them do, but there's I've seen several shows that have talked about the fact that if it weren't for Netflix, they would not have gotten the audience. I mean, Breaking Bad got picked up to a large degree because of Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those where I did hear an interview. Apparently, Eugene Levy was considered a little too during the shooting because his son and daughter are both on the show. I mean, his son created it with him. And his daughter plays the
Waitress.
waitress. And apparently, he would just like sitting off camera, like wide-eyed and repeating their lines with them as they were doing it, which is like the most adorable Eugene Levy thing I can. Aw, Dad's so proud. I need to finish that. I've seen parts of it. I've really liked what I've seen.
It's worthwhile, and it has a decent ending, unlike some.
Nice. I've heard the ending was.
It was worthy. It was, it's difficult to wrap up anything with that much, prior art going on, but it was the fact. So even a satisfactory ending is a triumph, in my opinion. It's the problem is that unless you have a capper in mind from the beginning, it's very difficult to have a really great capper. And if you do have a capper in mind from the beginning, good luck. Because unless it's the series is not going to go the way you thought it did.
I was nervous about The Good Place, but
yeah, they did really good with that one.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
how many times I'm gonna cry during it? Oh, that many. Thank you.
Yeah, over and over again.
Like one of those last couple shots, I'm like, that's Ted Danson's actual wife, and he met her in the show. All right. I'm assuming shortly after all this happens, you probably contact each other.
Yeah, first I go inside and make sure
Yeah.
and everybody are all right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Antonio just kind of like pokes his head up the thing, goes, "That's
Is everyone okay?
yes, I believe we're fine." He kind of goes through, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, we're okay." And he's like, "Yeah,
Can we-
would like that to not happen again."
Can we finish dinner? I say to Dana.
Yeah, Dana kind of just looks it over and goes, "Well, hold." Sounds like a good cut line to what are Wraith and Bunker doing? And it's literally like, as you look at the dinner, it's literally got frost on it from what you did in the thing.
Yeah, I poke it a little bit and it crunches.
Tink! Oh,
Walking over to the two bodies and looking at them. And we did notice that those things were doing funky things, so we removed them.
This is this is Tachyon to 5, Freedom 5. Come in.
Hey,
So we had just dinner fucking ruined. I'm sorry. Ruined. By an interloper with a dimensional teleportation device. How about you?
well, it was a different kind of dancing than we had planned for the night.
Yeah, I had an unexpected date night too.
Did they make you right away?
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, yeah, but everyone does, so I just assumed it was normal.
I don't know, that tracksuit's pretty stylish too.
You did good work. I gotta give it to you.
I don't think I'm going to be able to debunk those rumors anymore.
I told you to go to be out. I mean, how many hypertech, billionaires are there around Megalopolis, really?
True.
Besides which, I don't know. I think it just adds to the cachet. It's not like with Wraith. So they have these gadgets on them that I guess we need to check out and have them checked out.
Ours said they were sent by, and I don't remember who they said they were sent by. But Wraith is way smarter than me, so I assume.
Yeah, but between you heard the Thief of Peace, the Heralded, the Heart of the Storm, the Peace of Destruction, the Breaker of Lines, all those. And it's a pretty good shot since they all have the same sort of device on them that they were probably talking about the same person and not like 7 different.
Right. And none of these people are in the database.
Well, we know that this particular person loves titles.
Yes. But also that they're not from this continuum.
Yes. Oh, and we have, at least on our end, we have some prisoners to, take care of too.
Well, good. I got a hold of the device in case they didn't stick around.
Nice. I got a body.
Well,
Should we get a chopper to have you look at it?
yeah. But also, you get in touch with Visionary or the Argent Adept. This may not be scientific. I can't tell anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah, bring one of them around to the lab. On level 6, and let's see what we can see.
We'll head back to Freedom Plaza.
Yeah.
Yes, you check out their tech and I'll see if those names lead to anything.
Yeah, but get the magic people going too.
Okay.
They may have tangled with one.
The problem with them is they've actually headed into the multiverse.
Oh, they've held it into the multiverse.
Yeah, they've headed out in a way so like getting a hold of them. They were going to check back in when they could, but it'll be a little bit.
Just leave them a voicemail then.
So if we cut back
that weird Argent thing that Argent Adept has. I think, what is it, a bird?
So, did also the ones that we defeated, did those ones head back as well, or?
Nope, because like the ones you saw, there was a kind of a glow around them that had started, but when they went unconscious, it faded. So essentially, the only one, Durst is the only one that actually got
Escape.
got torn out of this reality. You also have 3 people to probably put in your powered cells.
Yeah, and so we're going to have to keep them sedated, or they
Mhm.
may just blink out.
So if we cut back to Freedom Tower, everyone's sort of, or Freedom Plaza, everyone's probably sitting there talking. You've got like Dana sort of sitting up on a table, just sort of eating one of those like white takeout boxes, one of those white like boxes food.
Dana, you know everybody.
Mhm.
Yep.
Everybody, Dana.
Hi,
Um,
Dana.
Well, met before. She goes,
Evening.
"Was your night as exciting as ours?"
It was fine until mine who called herself Durst showed up. She could cold projector, big cone area of effect, really irritating.
Couldn't have gone after Absolute Zero. Or couldn't have gone after do it all.
Well, it wouldn't have had any effect on Absolute Zero. I would have liked to have seen her do that trick.
I know we could have been really good friends, to be honest.
No, but the fact these happened all at the same time, and they made all of us right away, which means that somebody planned this and picked people that would be effective, or at least reasonably effective. Which means
That's interesting.
we got lucky.
I mean, like, it's me. I assumed that they just knew me. I don't really hide it very well, but you guys, that's different.
Yeah, no. And Wraith, you said right. None of these guys check, right? Even under other names.
As you're going through and checking them against, you have an extensive database, and even like after one of the good things about the Oblivion event, there weren't any, was the fact that you had a shit ton of superheroes all together, so you were able to like compare notes and share, like the ability to sort of share information was taken advantage of. And these don't track, and none of the names they give. I mean, there's been a couple minor ones called the track, kind of shitty supervillains that had teleport. Were not really a problem, but nothing tracks on a scale.
Yeah.
Because like the only other travelers you're aware of, their teleportation did not work the way what you saw did, and they certainly weren't. They certainly didn't use like extra dimensional scientific device. And here you've got what? You've got devices from literally all 4 of them.
All right. Well, they're all connected. I can tell you that. But let's see if we can figure out where they connect back to.
And here I was just thinking they were just a B-list villain.
No, this has big trouble written all over it. I don't know. I have a feeling this is just a demonstration, which gives me the willies. That this wasn't even an attack in earnest.
It seemed pretty cocky though.
Yeah, I think they expected to come in and hurt us some and leave.
I think they expected Michael to roll S1s all the time.
I'm just
that he
saying.
did.
Because given how quickly Durst blinked out, I don't expect the other ones expected to stay around long enough to actually, finish the fight one way or the other. They just wanted to show that they could hurt you.
I honestly thought there was a good chance. I'm like, oh, they might be able to take one out before the whole turn thing ended. Nope, maybe not with what I rolled.
Maybe it was. So I mean, unless it was, yeah. You see, and these things were clearly on. It sounds like these things were on automatic. So this wasn't a grab, because they would have had something that they could activate then to make sure that they had somebody. So this is almost just like a taunt. It's an awfully high-powered taunt. Anyway, you guys haven't seen this before. This is Therathian technology. A shudder probably goes through some members of the team. No, not offensive Therathian technology. They had a lot of other stuff too. And one of the things they had was they had a neutrino tunneling device. and that can map out microstructure on some of these things better than anything I've seen. So we're gonna run it through and see what we get.
Now, this also one, depending if you end up working together, some of you to go over this stuff, one person could boost the other one.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me see what's going to work the best here.
For a boost, do we just do like a normal roll, or
Yeah, no, it's just
it
I'm
would-
trying to.
basically, you just say what you're doing, because I mean the thing is, like, the boost, hinder,
Right.
all those things work throughout the whole thing. So you can boost someone to do an overcome.
well?
Right.
So I'll try and boost
Brian, you
Tachyon.
said one of these. You said the thing that, given from the reaction that you were talking about and the one that you tangled with,
Mhm.
cool this down to about 1K,
All right.
and then let me start from there, because what that'll do is it'll take the first 3 vibrational modes out of this device. Basically, a lot of the stuff we don't care about will drop out and stop moving. And that may make it easier to see what the rest of it is. You can I would use the temp gauge on the rig here, because it's slightly more sensitive than the one you have built into your suit.
Yeah. No, I got you. You forget. I was a scientist as well before all that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I do this.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. I'm right there with you.
No scientist.
So that would be a 4.
Before,
Oh wait.
you got your +2 still,
Oh, okay. So that would be a 6.
right? Which, yes, ends up being +2. I don't know if anybody is. I don't know if this is one where Wraith is also helping.
Anybody who's got something to contribute can help.
Is it Wraith also a tech genius?
No, not
Okay.
really.
No, she's
Yeah.
great with the gadgets.
She's a detective and she's a
Now,
rich.
Bunker.
Okay.
Now, Bunker is the unbelievable engineer.
Yeah, I think it's more from the looks of what I've got here is more skill wise anyway, like as far as principles and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
order, so I could definitely like it's coordinating things, right? So
Mhm.
would be the one I would use here, trying to coordinate the work between, just make sure that calculations are double. I don't really need to double check, but have full confidence in your calculations.
Well, actually, we actually tested this. Your ability to do correlations in your head is just as good as mine.
Okay.
So yeah, why don't you just look at those here? Let me punch up all the figures for you. Just eyeball them and make sure there's nothing missing.
All right.
Um,
I will do. So that will be tuition. I don't know what came out on the red still. Same die though. So that's a 4.
that's
All right.
another +2. Okay, this is for science.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice, Bunker, is you're kind of looking through the devices that were with the ones that went to everyone except for Absolute Zero were actually fairly similar. Absolute Zero is kind of put together in a different.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. So I'll try to I'll compare them both. I can do more with the one that came off of DURS, because I can actually put it into the I can put it into this Thorathian rig. I can scan the other ones, but this technology is a little injurious to tissue, and I might kill them. So we're not doing that.
Oh, we're not taking it off of them?
I would say these devices can become unhooked.
Okay, then they're fine. Then,
Yeah,
then
they were like a warn. They were a warn device.
okay, they're a warn device. Fine, we'll take them off then. And then now then I've got a side by side comparison.
Yep.
So I'll put one of absolute zeros next to the one that I got from Durs, and now we can see if there's a difference too, in addition to firing out. Okay, here goes. Okay, I don't like this.
But you have a +4. That's probably your principle of science.
That is the principle of science, and so it's an 8.
Clearly succeeds.
Okay. It's like, Christ.
Yeah.
Wow, am I glad you rechecked?
Yeah.
These things are, these crystals weren't grown. They were made all of a piece somehow.
Yeah. What you discover when you sort of like start to like look into them, the 3 that went against Bunker, Wraith, and Tachyon, all of those were set up for kinetic energy, and basically kind of created a field that would absorb a certain amount of kinetic energy. Absolute Zeros was for thermal.
Okay.
And one of the things it seems to do is it's shunting the power elsewhere, which looks through like a multi-dimensional switch. But the thing that it's doing is it's actually it's essentially attuning power to something else. The best bet of what these were is these were collecting power to attune something to this dimension.
They were collecting power to attune something to this dimension. Got it. Something wants to hone in on this dimension, and they can bring through these guys, but they can't bring through what they're trying to bring through. So they need to strengthen the fix they have here. That's what's going on.
Did they succeed?
I don't know. I don't know. Rough guesses to the power they did. Let's see. Railgun. This is wild guesswork because we don't know how efficient the transduction was.
And are we able to trace it back at all?
Interdimensional. The problem is that it's obviously interdimensional. It's really hard to tell where these things go without actually trying to go there. So they're trying to bring something through, and I'm afraid that they may have, notwithstanding the failure of most of their agents, that they may have succeeded, given how quick the short time frame they expected to be here. We all hit them pretty hard, and these absorption devices picked up a lot of energy. I showed that, put some curves up on the thing. So whatever they were trying to do, they probably succeeded. And either something big and nasty is going to come through soon, or we're going to have to try and cut it off at the pass. And I don't know if we can do anything about it quickly enough, but I can try.
At which point there's like a signal, like a weak signal comes through to your like the communicator screen, like the large one of those superhero things. You've got that kind of large screen you can sometimes use for video.
Sure.
There is like essentially like a call is coming from an unknown.
Main screen on.
Okay. When the main screen comes on, what you see is behind him what looks to be a slightly different version of the Freedom Plaza. That most of it is destroyed. You can actually see what's left there is sort of floating in a void. And sitting in a chair sort of across is a man with like long flowing hair, a couple some braids and such in there, and he's got like the sort of like tattooing you might see on a sort of ancient, sort of a Viking style.
Yeah.
And he's sort of looking through, and then further back behind him, you can see that there are some of those spider droids you saw before, as well as some soldiers in that area, and he just sort of comes through. This is Fridtjof, thief of peace. I'm calling Freedom 5. Whatever you are in this dimension.
What do you want?
You all come before like the camera, or are some of you standing off of it?
I'll stand up in front of it.
Yeah, I'll come up in front of the camera. I'm not exactly like hiding my appearance. They know what I look like.
Wraith is always off to the side in the shadows if she can be.
Kind of looks forward and like he's looking into the screen and goes, "No legacy." Wraith tends to stay off of it. I've
Legacy
fought
and
you.
Unity are around. They're just not right here. What do you want?
I have fought you in 1,000 worlds and 1,000 dimensions. And when Oblivion destroyed most of the multiverses, I managed to keep cage that you had stuck me in safe. Self and my soldiers. We are coming into you. I'm impressed. You managed to beat my heralds, most of them. I'm offering you an opportunity. Live. I will come through if you serve me. I do not have to break you again. Resist. Your deaths will show the world. They must bow for Fridtjof.
We've heard your line before, Fridtjof. Not
Is
from
that
your
the-
mouth, but from plenty of others, and they've all failed.
Is that the best you can do at the 1,000th time giving that speech? Never improved it anymore beyond that.
No, give him a break. You know, it's
Yeah,
his first time in front
his
of an audience.
eyes just kind of like blaze a little bit. He just sort of
I-
looks and goes,
And I say, give him
"Why
a
is
break.
your
This is
tongue
probably-
always the same in every dimension? I always
You think-
enjoy removing it."
I think this guy said something similar, and he's not doing so hot. But we'll see you. We'll see you
Fridtjof,
soon.
Kind of back.
you know what the answer is.
Same as it always is.
You lost before. What
But I've-
makes you think that you could win this time?
I've won.
Yes, but you haven't won every time, have you?
No. However, you've just had to fight and survive against Oblivion. Yours is one of the few multiverses left that actually is anchored where it's supposed to be. Everything else was cast adrift, and it's healing. I've decided to come to home, place where perhaps everything started, or as if not, good as. I should thank you. You've allowed me to open the way.
You should.
I'll be coming for my peoples.
You know where they are.
But it's the same place. I was hoping you'd be smarter like you occasionally are.
Oh,
We were thinking the same thing about you.
you might have. You might be surprised still. Everything is different, Fridtjof, from one to another. And there are things you don't know, and we do.
Just Vance, what's your name here?
Uh, you've got it correct.
You're always the mercenary. Stick with a losing force.
I think you'll
Really?
find this time I'm not a mercenary.
So much less. I'd sad look forward to fighting you again, but it gets done so many times. One more universe to conquer. See you soon. Reaches forward and just closes out.
And so I just shouted, "All right, who had money on arrogant type of enemy?"
I think
All
we all
right,
had
Unity,
that.
here you go.
Have you seen
We'll start-
Endgame? Because I swear.
Guys,
Yes.
we've heard that speech before.
Yeah, we're I
But
think this
this
is
is
number
a-
5.
I have a bad feeling about this one.
I mean, even worse than what we just dealt with Oblivion.
Nothing could be worse than that. But the problem is that this guy, for all of his, for all that is his, what he was saying was trite and his demands ridiculous. He knows way too much about the multiverse. I mean, we've been invaded by aliens from outer space that didn't know as much as that guy revealed in a casual speech about the multiverse. I think we should consider opening Vault A.
Oh, that's serious, huh? You remember the last time we opened Vault A?
I don't. What are we going to? He's got an army, right? It's not just going to be us. What are we going to say to Earth's defense forces? Curl up and die like last time? When the Thorathians came? Or are we going to try to arm them? I don't know what the right answer is.
Well, unfortunately, there's probably going to be some that die either way.
Yes. But we have technology from some of these people that tried to kill us that we haven't ever let out because it's dangerous offensive stuff. And once you let the genie out of the bottle to some degree, it's out.
Do you think we might be able to use these things that we have here to try and absorb some of the energy as he's trying to come through so that he can't?
It goes to his power source.
Maybe we can send it somewhere else.
Maybe.
You know, there's an idea, but I'm going to flip it around. This goes to his power source. Maybe we can pull. Maybe they can be used to tap.
That would work, dude.
It might work. I'm going to start working on it. Whatever he's using to power, I don't know, device, his own personal power, I don't know. But if these things can feed it, they may be able to draw power from it at a critical moment. I'm going to see if the conduits in these things can be turned around.
All right. Do you need any assistance?
Yes, please. Any other any other thoughts?
At this point, Dana kind of pops off her thing. She goes, "So is this like serious problem supervillain, or is this supervillain of the week?"
I think this is a serious problem, sweetheart.
Yeah, it seems like it might be on the more serious side. Some of the henchmen felt like a supervillain of the week, but this guy kind of seems like he needs a little bit more business.
Henchmen were supervillains.
You noticed that he had those spider things in the background, right? Right.
Mhm.
So so this isn't the first. What he just did now wasn't the first probe, or probably the second. This guy's been feeling out our dimension now for some time.
Could even be related to those crystals that we had to destroy in that pocket dimension.
It's possible. God, I hope not.
He's
the
definitely been ruining my week.
Well, the reason I hope not is that it means that he's working on too many domains. Because that one was it was essentially entirely a magical domain. For all that we encountered physical things in it. And we don't have anybody with that kind of expertise. So we better hope that he's not working on this. If he's working purely on personal power and some heavy powered minions, which obviously he does have because he sent 5 of them after us. Even if his army are just powered up regulars with high tech equipment, it's going to be a real fight, and it's a bigger fight than us, maybe.
Agree.
Okay, well, let's get to work.
Oh God, it's what a weird thing. A sneak. Look in the light.
You're allergic to photons.
You know, as you look in the light, it makes you that sneeze is like sitting there. It'll make it happen. Okay, guess.
Yep.
All right. So, what do you all do?
Well, use some tactics to try and get these things set up for you.
No, I need your lightning calculator.
All right.
I need you to check the figures, and you're the only one here who's fast enough to do them with me.
Yeah, Ray's haven't heard from you a bit. Is there something you want to look into?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm going to look to see
Or
whether
no, for Wraith.
Oh,
I suppose you've been muted for a bit. Is there something you're going to check into?
I guess, yeah, I think Wraith wants to take all of those names and just see if we can't. Maybe there is some version of this guy from our dimension that took a different turn or didn't amount to much, that we could somehow get some information so that we know what we're facing, because he just seems to know a lot about us and we don't know much about him.
All right. You want to make an overcome roll? You go through. You use all your contacts, etc. to computers.
So, yes.
Boy, Watchmen's winning a bunch too. Yeah.
I guess it's,
Principal the detective.
yeah, I guess so.
That's a 10.
If it's hidden information.
Yeah, that's a completely succeeds. So yeah, the as you start to like look through stuff, here's what you realize: Fridtjof is like an ancient Norwegian name. I mean, thief of peace is literally what it means. As you look up everyone else, Than is Greek for death. Lami was a type of vampire. Paris, evil spirit. You manage to tie all of these mythological creatures, and as you start to kind of go through, they sort of fit as far as the various abilities and such that you're going with. So it sounds like, while these people are not necessarily, by the way, everyone has a hero point because it was effective. What would appear to be is you probably have something that is pretty ancient on any, and you actually also were able to double check like how they think old Norwegian accents would sound, and it fits with a little bit from what you heard from the way he said his name, and it's still in the thing, was a little unusual for today's time, and it sort of maps to what they believe. Probably looking at someone who is um, many centuries old. You're guessing at least 1,200. The minions seem to also be perhaps the basis of it that has that has remained fairly consistent across. Is a little odd.
And
Breachoff
the whole,
himself is just a name. The rest of them, though, have do have contemporaries in the universe way in the past.
and there's, yeah, enough mentions of like, they all seem to be, maybe, I don't know if we know that they're all undead, but there multiple ones said things along those lines, or that,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean, Than's the root word of Thanatos. I mean, Carries is literally a spirit. Lamia, it seems vampirish.
Right.
Sort of look.
The
And
Lamia.
yeah, and they made comments like, "I'll make you dead like me," different things like that. So,
Nurse,
okay.
goddess of winter, death.
So what weaknesses does that present? I guess is the question.
Yeah. So this is actually as you're sort of looking through, and you go through like a number of sort of Norwegian legends, looking for things. We'll sort of say is you see that there is, as far as possible weaknesses go, um, the easiest one you actually pull. There are certain legends of Fridtjof you find in some weird places that were often dismissed by scholars because it seemed like it was possibly like trying to tie itself to a Nordic. Um, but Fridtjof is tied to Balder in several places, and so mistletoe.
Oh yeah, the
Uh,
god of beauty who was
yeah,
killed by a mistletoe dart.
and then
That
also
Loki turns.
return is the one that returned to life. Um,
Right.
so mistletoe might actually be a weakness.
Or the depth would be all over this one.
Unfortunately, he's dimension hopping right now.
We got to hang up mistletoe, trick them all into giving us kisses.
No, no, no! I can't hit you. I love you.
No, I know the legend. Odin's wife made everything in the world promised not to harm Balder, her son. And so, you could throw anything at him and it wouldn't even scratch him because it had promised. She made all the rocks promise, all the trees promise, everything. She made the lightning promise, etc. And so he was invulnerable, except that she had forgotten to make the mistletoe promise, and Loki found a sprig of mistletoe and sharpened it, one end, and he gave it to Hod, who was blind, to throw it at Balder. And in some parts of the legend, it transformed into iron as it was flying. But whatever it was, it killed Balder. It was the equivalent of Achilles' heel. Who knows? Maybe they're the same legend. It's tricked out in two very different ways. But well, if anyone can make a mistletoe dart gun, it's just you, Wraith.
About this time, you see Absolute Zero coming in near the end of the story, and it's like, oh, mistletoe. And he drops his ammunition back on the ground.
Not
I thought we
mistletoe.
had it.
Oh, my bad.
You do that on purpose.
You don't know
Wait,
me.
are you going to help me with this?
Yep. I was just waiting for Mikhail to be ready.
All right, go ahead. Okay. These are
The assisting for the
Tachyon.
for Tachyon for the figuring out the reversal, sort of like the drain.
+2 and +2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the
And
Wraith.
oh no, Wraith. I'm sorry. I need 0.
I need to reroll.
Did you already?
No.
Last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want me to
this-
roll again? Cold under pressure, green. So
6
6.
is another +2. Okay, so this is a +4 like before. Okay, that's a 10.
Yeah. So the thing is, what were you looking into?
I want to make. I mean, it'll probably be a one shot, but I want to make an energy tap. I want to make something where we can use these to pull energy from him, or from or from whatever device he's using to power it, and maybe either weaken him or sever or injure his link to this dimension or something.
All right. So we put a one shot that gets a +2 bonus to probably hinder Rejoff. To sever his thing of dimension.
Yeah, well, to have it to boost an attack against him.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm also assuming everyone gets a plot point for.
Yes.
Did anybody else get a plot point for the other ones that you used?
Or
a hero point rather than not plot point.
hero points. I think we've all gotten 5.
All right.
I wasn't sure where we're at.
Yeah.
I know I rolled one in the like getting everyone out of the room. So that would have been 1.
Yeah, so I think that probably takes up to 5, which is the.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right. Does this sound like a good place to sort of call it for the night? And pick up next week to finish it off?
Yeah, well, I'd like it. Yes, I want, just for the sake of role playing, that we walk over to the special elevator, and we go and I punch in a code and use a special key into the elevator, and the elevator goes down, and we go through a weird security room that has a blaster in the ceiling. And over to the wall, and it's labeled Vault A. And I press a contact in a titanium panel, slides back to reveal under glassine, and you see a bunch of strange things, which are obviously guns. That that are kind of black and silvery and absolutely glitter with menace. And I turn around and say to everybody else, well,
I guess we're doing this. Okay.
All right.
so
All right.
good place.
Cool.
That's like a fade out.
Yep.